I want to begin by asking you, the latest, of course, is that a father-son duo has been apprehended. And these, of course, are being traced to Pakistan, these two people. What more would you like to say on that?
Absolutely, this has been a horrific, horrendous attack which must be condemned in the strongest possible language across the global community. And it's very sad that 15 innocent lives have been lost because of the dastardly act of the father-son duo. Well, the point is that in Australia, there have been of late racial attacks. There was the attack on the synagogue and also one of the kosher eatery. But they have been few and far between. But now it appears that there is a trend that is catching on in Australia also about the racial attacks, and this have been targeted against the Jewish community who was celebrating their festival. And obviously, it is someone who was anti-Semitism, either radicalized person or a person who has a certain design against humanity. So all I can say is that while the police is on the hunt, and possibly as we learn that the out of the duo, father has been killed, but the son is in hospital, and I think that it should not be left at that, because these are not the lone wolf attack. These people are possibly radicalized by some forces which are working behind the scene, and rightly so, as you brought out, that security have been tightened in Germany and also in India because the celebration of the festival are on. And I think such instances should not be left at that. There is a larger design behind it, and the intelligence agencies must get to the larger web that is working, because what we see in the action or in the shooting are only the front faces, but there are a lot of forces which work behind the scene, and this network must be cracked by the intelligence agencies, and before they can act, they should be nabbed as a preemptive measure and not as a reactive measure. Over to you.
Major General Dwivedi, now I also want to ask you that, there are very stringent laws when it comes to gun laws in Australia. In spite of that, in a country like Australia in the West, you can expect that, they should have beefed up their security measures better, especially in a crowded area like Bondi Beach. Do you think there has been a certain security lapse?
Because when such instances take place, there has to be a reason. And reason obviously is that there have been certain breach of security, or the security have been overlooked, and that's why these perpetrators of terrorism manage to succeed in causing such instances, and also loss of life. And yes, I think in Australia the laws are more stringent than in America. And but in this case, this father had a gun which was for recreational shooting, and while they have used that weapon to cause casualties, and also this instance of terrorist related activity. But the point is that you are right that there has to be very stringent laws, and also especially when on such occasion when their festival is on, and that repercussion of the Hamas Israel war are not restricted to the region. It has global implications. So therefore, the law enforcing agencies must be on the highest alert during such seasons or during such festivals, so that this type of dastardly act can be obviated. And for sure, there have been either breach of security or the security have been overlooked. And had there been alert on this issue, possibly, this kind of instance may have been avoided. Over to you.
Major General Dwivedi, I'd like you to please stay on with me. And I also have Brigadier Rajan Jam